As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Have you ever felt overwhelmed by life's challenges? Do you find yourself stuck in cycles of stress, anxiety, and self-doubt, wondering why things never seem to get easier? Maybe it's that never-ending workload, difficult relationships, or the unexpected curveballs life keeps throwing your way. What if I told you that the key to overcoming these problems isn't found in your circumstances, but in your mind? Imagine being able to face any situation with calm confidence and clarity, turning obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones. Sounds impossible. It's not. The ancient Stoic philosophers discovered the secrets to mastering your mind, building resilience, and living a life of purpose and strength. And today, I'm going to share with you how these timeless principles can transform your life, no matter what challenges you're facing. Are you ready to unlock the mental strength you already possess? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Mastery over your mind. Have you ever noticed how your mind races when you don't give it a break? You can't think clearly, your stress builds up, and you feel lost. When your mind is constantly overloaded with thoughts, you're giving up control. You're letting your mind drag you around, and it's ruining your focus. Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." If you never allow your mind to rest, it gets worse. You start reacting to every little thing, overthinking everything, and making stupid decisions. Without silence, your mind controls you. It becomes a mess of confusion, frustration, and stress. You'll struggle to focus on what matters because your mind is scattered, and eventually you'll burn out. Stop feeding that mental chaos. Find moments in your day to just be silent. Don't listen to music, don't check your phone. Don't let your mind wander into useless thoughts. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Breathe. Let your mind settle. This is how you take back control. If you don't do this, your mind will continue to own you and drag you down. Silence gives you power. Use it. Lesson 2. Emotional resilience. Ever found yourself in a tough situation where emotions are running high and you're ready to explode? Maybe you get into arguments or small problems feel like huge disasters because you let your emotions take over. That's what happens when we don't practice silence. Our emotions control us instead of us controlling them. Ali ibn Abi Talib once said, "Silence is the best reply to a fool." Without moments of silence, we react emotionally to everything. We snap, we shout, we get angry over things that don't matter. This leads to regret, broken relationships, and a life full of drama. If you don't control your emotions, they'll control you, and you'll never be able to think clearly in tough situations. Start practicing emotional silence. When you feel yourself getting angry, upset, or emotional, pause. Close your mouth. Take a deep breath. Count to 10 in your head, and give yourself time to calm down. This pause, this silence, gives you control over your emotions. Don't let them control you. Silence allows you to respond with clarity and strength instead of reacting blindly. Lesson 3. Mental clarity and focus. Now think about those moments when your mind is overwhelmed with endless thoughts, distractions from work, constant chatter, worries about the future. You can't focus, and it feels like your mind is racing in all directions. That's the chaos that happens when there's no silence. You can't think clearly, and you miss out on real focus and productivity. Rumi once said, "The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear." Without silence, your mind gets cluttered with unnecessary noise. You'll struggle to think, and everything around you will feel overwhelming. It's like trying to focus in a room full of people yelling at you. When you're constantly distracted, you're not in control of your thoughts, and your work or personal life suffers. Make silence your habit. Take short breaks during the day to be completely silent. No music, no talking, just peace. This helps clear your mind and regain focus. If you're struggling to make decisions or solve problems, take a step back, sit in silence, and let your thoughts settle. When you silence the noise around you, your mind becomes sharper, and you can think and act with clarity. Lesson 4. Increase self-discipline. Imagine this, you've got a goal, but you keep getting distracted by every little thing: social media, conversations, or even random thoughts. Every time you give in to distractions, you waste precious time and energy. That's what happens when you don't practice self-discipline and silence your mind. If you let every thought control you, you'll never get anything done. You'll always be reacting to life instead of making things happen. Napoleon Hill once said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do." Without the power of silence, you'll lose control over your mind. Your thoughts will race, and you'll find it harder to focus on your goals. Without self-discipline, you give in to every urge and distraction. You'll be stuck in the cycle of procrastination, unable to move forward. Over time, this lack of control will lead to frustration, disappointment, and missed opportunities. Start by silencing distractions. Put away your phone when you're working. Take a few moments of quiet each day to clear your head. When your thoughts are still, it's easier to focus and stay disciplined. Practice saying no to temptations that pull you away from your goals, even if they seem small. With practice, you'll develop the strength to control your mind and your actions. Lesson 5. Purposeful living. Think about your day-to-day life. Are you just going through the motions, doing what you need to survive? Or are you driven by a purpose? If you're not living with a clear sense of why you're doing what you're doing, you're probably wasting your time. Every action you take becomes meaningless when there's no purpose behind it. You're basically sleepwalking through your own life, and it's a miserable way to exist. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Without the quiet moments to reflect, we lose touch with what truly matters to us. We become distracted by the noise, both external and internal, and lose focus on our deeper goals. When your mind is filled with clutter and distractions, it's impossible to see where you're heading or why you're doing anything at all. You'll end up chasing after things that don't matter, and your life will feel empty, no matter what you achieve. Silence is where you find your purpose. Take time each day to reflect on what you truly want out of life. What drives you? What are you working toward? Once you know your purpose, align every action with it. Don't waste time on things that don't serve your bigger goals. Every decision should be a step toward the life you want to create. Be intentional with your time and energy. Only then will you start living with meaning and direction. Lesson 6. Enhance problem solving. Now think about the last problem you faced. How did you approach it? If you reacted in a rush, chances are you made it worse. But what if you'd taken a step back, silenced the chaos in your mind, and then thought through the problem? That's where true problem solving begins. When you remain calm and composed, you're able to think clearly, assess your options, and make the best choice. Silence isn't just about not speaking. It's about quieting your thoughts so you can tackle problems head-on with clear vision and strength. Josiah Gilbert Holland once said, "Calmness is the cradle of power." When we don't practice silence, our minds get flooded with panic, anxiety, and knee-jerk reactions. Instead of seeing the full picture, we end up reacting emotionally, making decisions based on fear or frustration. That's how problems grow out of control. Without silence, you're stuck in a cycle of stress, acting impulsively, and making things harder than they need to be. You waste energy and time, and most importantly, you miss the opportunity to solve the problem properly. Whenever you face a challenge, take a moment of silence before responding. Don't let your first impulse drive your actions. Close your eyes for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and clear your mind. Then, approach the situation from a calm, logical place. Break the problem down into smaller steps, and decide the best course of action with clarity. The quieter your mind, the better your decisions will be. Silence gives you the space to think, and thinking gives you the power to solve anything. Lesson 7. Building resilience. We all face setbacks. Whether it's a failed project, a tough relationship, or a personal struggle, challenges are part of life. The difference between those who overcome them and those who fall apart lies in resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to rise stronger after every fall, and silence plays a key role in this. When you allow your mind to stay quiet during tough times, you give yourself the space to reflect, learn, and adapt. You can weather any storm if you stop reacting to it and start reflecting on it. Jean de la Bruyere once said, "Out of difficulties grow miracles." Without silence, we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by emotions, anger, frustration, sadness. These emotions cloud our judgment and make us feel stuck in our struggles. We might lash out, make hasty decisions, or just give up altogether. Our resilience weakens when we don't give ourselves the time to pause and regroup. If you don't practice silence in difficult moments, you risk letting your problems control you instead of the other way around. When you hit a wall, don't rush to react or retreat. Take a moment to pause and let your emotions settle. Step back, breathe, and give yourself the gift of silence. This doesn't mean avoiding the problem, it means giving yourself the mental clarity to face it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? That pause is what allows you to build resilience, not by avoiding the pain, but by learning from it. The next time life knocks you down, use silence to rise even stronger. Lesson 8. Reduced anxiety. Anxiety is a thief. It steals your peace, your focus, and sometimes even your happiness. In a world filled with constant noise, both external and internal, it's easy for anxiety to take hold. But here's the truth: silence is the antidote. When you embrace silence, you allow your mind to rest and calm down. The chaos of overthinking fades and you're left with clarity. Gordon Hempton once said, "Silence is not the absence of something, but the presence of everything." Without silence, anxiety grows stronger. Our minds start to race with endless worries, fears, and what-ifs. We fixate on every little problem, making them seem much worse than they are. The more we let that noise fill our heads, the more we spiral into anxiety. We get trapped in our thoughts and lose control of our emotions. Anxiety isn't something we can just fight, it's something we need to silence by taking control of our thoughts and actions. Whenever you feel anxiety creeping in, stop and embrace silence. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and focus only on your breath. It's like hitting the reset button for your mind. You don't need to fix everything in a moment of panic. Just stop, breathe, and give your mind the space it needs to calm down. The next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, silence isn't a weakness. It's your weapon against anxiety. Lesson 9. Improve decision-making. Every day we make decisions, big and small. But in the rush of life, how often do we make those decisions with a clear mind? It's easy to act impulsively, to react in the moment, especially when we're surrounded by noise and distractions. But silence brings clarity. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, free from outside pressures, we give our minds the space to think, evaluate, and decide with purpose. Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." When we don't practice silence, we let the noise of the world dictate our decisions. We make choices based on emotions, peer pressure, or external distractions. These decisions often lead to regret. In a chaotic environment, our judgments become clouded. We might say things we don't mean, make choices that aren't aligned with our true values, or react out of frustration rather than logic. Without silence, we lose the ability to think things through and make decisions that truly benefit us. When faced with an important decision, don't rush. Find a quiet space. Take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and just think. Don't let anyone else's voice fill your head. Think about the consequences of each option. Think about what aligns with your values and long-term goals. Remember, the best decisions come when we give ourselves the time to reflect and think clearly, not when we're swept away by the noise around us. Lesson 10. Increased adaptability. Adaptability is the ability to adjust to new situations and challenges without losing your cool. Life throws all sorts of curveballs at us, unexpected problems, sudden changes, and moments of uncertainty. When we're quiet, we allow ourselves to adapt to these situations with more grace and control. We stop reacting impulsively and instead take the time to understand what's happening and how to adjust. Unknown once said, "Sometimes you have to be silent in order to hear the answers." If we don't practice silence, we lose our ability to adapt. When we're constantly speaking, reacting, or overthinking, we get stuck in our initial emotions, unable to see things clearly. We might panic, resist change, or get frustrated, which only makes things worse. The inability to stay silent in tough situations limits our flexibility and makes us less prepared for what's ahead. Without silence, we remain rigid in our thoughts and actions, which prevents growth and makes us less adaptable. Next time life challenges you, take a moment to pause. Before reacting, take a deep breath and reflect. Ask yourself, how can I approach this differently? Or what is this situation teaching me? Stay calm and assess the situation with an open mind. Silence gives you the space to adapt, to make adjustments, and to move forward with confidence. Only when you embrace silence can you learn how to bend without breaking. Silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's the power to take control of your mind, emotions, and actions. With each lesson we've covered, you've learned how to turn chaos into clarity. Now, use this power every day. Embrace silence, stay focused, and watch your life transform. If you found value in this, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights, and share your thoughts with us in the comments below. You've got this.